Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look at this fan list released by the NHL Network, where they talked about the top 20 centers in the NHL. And this list is quite interesting, and we'll be taking a look at that in this video. If you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe down below, and let's take a look at this top 20 centers list. Alright, so before we get too far into this video, guys, I want to give a quick plug to our Instagram and Twitter handles at goalline_hockey. Links will be in the description down below, as well as playing throughout this video. And make sure to check out our Patreon, guys. Every Thursday, a weekly podcast is on there. It's a way to financially support the channel, which is always appreciated. I always appreciate the support from you guys. Even watching these videos, it definitely means a lot. And guys, we are almost at 800 subscribers, believe it or not. Absolutely amazing. And I want to thank you guys right now for that. And real quick, guys, I'm going to give you a second here. If you have not subscribed, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because I believe like 90% of you who watch these videos are not subscribed. Guys, make sure to, at the very least, hit that thumbs up or thumbs down, because honestly, either way, it actually helps out the channel, whether it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And you know what would help even more is hitting that subscribe button to really help us get to 800 subscribers, potentially by the end of November. That would be absolutely amazing. All right, so I'm going to give you a second to finish doing that. Click out, thumbs up, subscribe. All right, so let's go. All right, so this list, guys, is very interesting. So we're going to go from 20 to 1, and we're going to review it. So at 20, you have Evgeny Kuznetsov of the Washington Capitals. I think this is a pretty fair ranking. I think Kuznetsov kind of slipped up a little bit last season, but he is still a very good center, and I think it just makes sense for him to be in this conversation. He is a very solid center in the NHL. And we've seen just how fast he is, his hands. It makes no sense that he should, at the very least, be in the top 20. At number 19, you have the St. Louis Blues, Ryan O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly is a very good center in the NHL. Really struggled with the Buffalo Sabres and kind of struggled a little bit at times with the Colorado Avalanche. But he has really come into his own with the St. Louis Blues. And with Craig Berube being his bench boss, it's a perfect match. He's really gotten the most out of O'Reilly there with the Blues. Hell, they won a Stanley Cup a couple years back with him, and all those trophies he won that year. So, you know, the St. Louis Blues really got a great guy in Ryan O'Reilly on and off the ice, and a huge addition for them. A huge reason why they have been the way they have been. A lot of that goes to Ryan O'Reilly. And number 18. Number 18, guys. We got Andrei Kopitar of the Los Angeles Kings. He has definitely taken a couple steps back since his years as one of the best centers in the league. But he is still a very capable player, in the NHL. And this is a guy that you have to watch as, as this team continues to rebuild in LA. He's not going to get the same credit that he used to. But again, this is a guy that he is a very, very good player, and his offensive and defensive abilities are absolutely top-notch. Now, I'm a little bit surprised by this one. The fact that he's this low. At number 17, the Florida Panthers, Alexander Barkov. Now, when you think of Andrei Kopitar, a lot of people think of Alexander Barkov. They are two very similar players in their two-way, offensive, defensive mindset. They're very good back checkers, very good penalty killing centers. I'm kind of shocked that Barkov is at 17. I feel like he should be higher up. At number 16, Nick Baxtrom of the Washington Capitals. He's definitely taken a couple steps back over the years as he continues to age, but he is still a very prolific center. Probably helps a little bit when he's playing on the top line with number 8 of the Washington Capitals and Alexander Ovechkin. But still, he is a very, very good center. Like a lot of these other guys we've been talking about. Good penalty killer. He can score goals. Really a good passer. And that's really what you have in Nick Baxtrom. And it's been an absolutely perfect complement to Alexander Ovechkin and his success. So now we head into the top 15 and we look at the Carolina Hurricanes, Sebastian Aho. Sebastian Aho of the Hurricanes is a very good center. And again, this is a guy that he has continued over the last 2 years, specifically in the playoffs, to show that to Rod Brind'Amour that he is a legit number one center in the NHL. And the Carolina Hurricanes have a great player. This is a guy that they are very happy to have in that organization. At number 14, I'm shocked that he's actually this high up because of his regression over the years. But because it is a fan list, I could see why people still consider him in the conversation. And number 14, that's the Chicago Blackhawks' Jonathan Toews. He's definitely fallen off a couple of steps. He's gotten older, and the team around him has gotten weaker, which is just a fallacy of the salary cap era. But Jonathan Toews is the definition, the epitome of an offensive and defensive-minded two-way forward, two-way center. And this is a heck of a guy, a great person, a great leader in that locker room for the Chicago Blackhawks. Been the captain of Team Canada. I mean, this is a legit gem, a diamond in the rough. And the Chicago Blackhawks hit an absolute home run with Jonathan Toews. So this is where things get interesting when we get closer to the top 10. As at number 13, we have the Vancouver Canucks, Elias Pettersson at 13. This is interesting. I feel like Pettersson should be in the top 10. When you look at some of the guys further up in this list, I'm very shocked that he is at 13. But again, he's still young. He has to build that credibility that some of these guys like Toews and Baxtrom and Kopitar built up. Once he builds up that repertoire, he will be in the top 10 for sure. And let's also remember the fact he's playing in Vancouver. There's always that bias, that Eastern bias. We may be seeing that a little bit here with Pettersson. At number 12, the Edmonton Oilers, not their top center, but their second best center, Leon Draisaitl. He is part of that two-headed monster duo in Edmonton. Him and Connor McDavid. At number 12 is Draisaitl. And Draisaitl really showed last year, he put up the most points in the NHL. He has been a monster for the Edmonton Oilers. And if he keeps this up, God help that Pacific Division. These two are going to kill that Pacific Division. So number 11, guys, we head up to Buffalo. You may be shocked. You're like, what? Jack Eichel at number 11? Yes. The fans have voted Jack Eichel at number 11 in this rankings. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like that's actually a good spot for him. You look at some of these other names ahead of him, and it makes sense. This is probably a good spot, a healthy spot for Jack Eichel at 11. I think that's fair. At number 10, Austin Matthews of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He is going to be in the conversation, especially as the Leafs, centerman. I'm kind of surprised John Tavares isn't on here. He has not been playing that well, which I think has hurt him. But Austin Matthews makes number 10. No surprise here that he's in the top 10. If it was based off a mustache game, he would be probably in the top 5. But based off of the fan list for top centers, at number 10, pretty solid for Austin Matthews. All right, so I just want to put a disclaimer out there. I'm not a Flyers fan, guys. But in this top 10, we see a lot of Eastern bias, in my opinion. And we're going to see that with the next couple of names. I'm just warning you now. At number 9, the Philadelphia Flyers, Sean Couturier. Sean Couturier makes number 9 on this list. And I actually agree with this. I think Sean Couturier is in that conversation. But is he better than Austin Matthews? Is he better than Jack Eichel? Draisaitl? Pettersson? I don't know about that. Guys. So I really like Sean Couturier. Again, he reminds me a lot of a Barkov, a Kopitar, a Toews. But I would not put him ahead of Draisaitl or Eichel or Pettersson. What? At number 8, Matt Barzell of the New York Islanders. This isn't a total shock to me. I think Barzell has really shown that he is a legit center in the NHL, and what he does for that Islanders team, he absolutely owns the rink when he's out there. It's a shame he has nobody really to pass to, but besides that, Matt Barzell, a goal scorer, a passer, a playmaker. He is everything that you want in a player, and he's not the best defensive-minded player in terms of a two-way game, but that's something he has developed a little bit under Barry Trotz, and he is a gem for the New York Islanders. Thank you, Edmonton Oilers, for giving us Matt Barzell, by the way. So at number 7 is Tampa Bay Lightning's Braden Point. I actually agree with this. I think Braden Point is a legit center. He is the real deal. And I think the Tampa Bay Lightning have a steal with this guy. Now, maybe does he get a little bit more biased because he's playing with Tampa and the fact that he has a loaded roster to go along with that? I think so. But Braden Point, I think that's pretty on point. No pun intended. Actually, yes, it was. Braden Point is a legit center, and I think it's fair at number 7. All right, so now we're going to start to get into interesting territory. Remember I said it's a little bit Philadelphia Flyers bias? No, it's not Travis Konechny. No, it's not Claude Giroux. We already talked about Sean Couturier. So who else could we be talking about as a top 20 center in the NHL? At number 6, Kevin Hayes of the Philadelphia Flyers. That's right. Kevin Hayes at number 6 in the fan list for the NHL Network's top 20 centers. Ahead of Braden Point, Matt Barzell, Austin Matthews, Jack Eichel, Leon Draisaitl, Elias Pettersson. I don't know about that. I would keep him in the top 15, but at 6, that's a little bit high. That's a little bit high, guys. Number 5, the New York Rangers, Mika Zibanejad. I actually agree with this. I am on the Zibanejad hype train. Even as an Islander fan, he is legit. And what he has become since he came over from the Ottawa Senators. I know Sens fans that don't remind us, but Zibanejad has been an absolute gem for the New York Rangers, playing alongside one of Artemi Panarin, Kaapo Kakko, Alexi Lafreniere, Vitaly Kravtsov, Pavel Buchnevich over the next couple of years. Chris Kreider, doesn't matter who it is. Zibanejad has made those players really good, and they've been a good complement to him as well. And Zibanejad, I think this is fair to have him in the top 5. So at number 4, they have the Boston Bruins' Patrice Bergeron, which I think we're going to start to see the decline of Bergeron over the next couple of years as he starts to get over the hill. But this is an interesting spot for Bergeron. I agree, but is he better than Zibanejad at this point? I don't know. And I think a lot of people may be factoring in his success that he's had already in the NHL. Show us your resume. Where's your proof? Bergeron absolutely has that. So I do get that to an extent. So now it's the debate. So you've got everybody in this list is pretty close. But then you get into the top 3. And I think Draisaitl should be closer in that conversation, in my honest opinion. I think he's 4. But you've got these top 3 for sure. You have these top 3 in any order, and most people wouldn't call you too crazy. Number 3, we're heading up to Pittsburgh. Probably the best player in the NHL for about a decade. And that was Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby of the Pittsburgh Penguins is an absolute monster. This guy is so good. And everything he's done in the NHL, as much as I hate his guts as an Islander fan, he is legit. And you have to respect what he has done in the NHL. All the Stanley Cups he's won. He's going to be in that conversation for a long time based off of what he's done. But what he's at this point is definitely not what it used to be. At number 2, they have the Colorado Avalanche's Nathan MacKinnon. And I agree with this, and I think this is a good spot for MacKinnon. He is so fast. He has such good hands. He's a really reliable defensive, forward as well, a good two-way forward. And I think that's something that you have to value in today's NHL. Able to win puck battles, able to win face-offs. Pretty important as a center, believe it or not. So I really like what we've seen from Nathan MacKinnon, and no shock that he is number 2. But you can make an argument easily that he's number 1 as well. And then there's number 1. We talked about him earlier when we were talking about Leon Draisaitl. That's Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid fell into the lap of the Edmonton Oilers, and this guy is as good as it gets. Connor McDavid is the guy that you want in your locker room. He is a leader. He is just an all-around, off-the-ice great player. And then on the ice, he absolutely kills. And that's what we've seen from Connor McDavid throughout his NHL career. And I don't expect that to change anytime soon. And Connor McDavid, even with all the injuries he's had, even with all the issues that he's been dealing with, this guy is number 1. And I love what we've seen from Connor McDavid and the level that he is at despite the lack of talent around him. And obviously there's Draisaitl, but we're talking about his wingers. Potential bust and Jesse Puljujarvi that he's playing with, Zach Kassian, James Neal. Come on, that's the best you could do for this guy. So the fact he's been able to put up over 100 points per season, despite not having a legit winger next to him, you have to give a ton of props to Connor McDavid and what he has done at the NHL level. So guys, let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think of this fan list of the top 20 centers in the NHL? Are you surprised by some of these spots? Kevin Hayes at number 6? What the fuck? What the hell? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. And if you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.